have moved from arguing about a 9/11 mosque and saying, "Hey, that shouldn't be built there," et cetera, to this. And you'll notice that no one is saying that we're racist for saying this about the Muslim Brotherhood. Do you notice the racism card isn't being played?
Did they just leave that in the back pocket until later, or is
I don't know. But now it is crazy, dangerous, conspiratorial. Now, there's a couple of things that I think are happening. I think the house is being cleaned by the left and the right of anybody that would be a challenge to a progressive Republican. If you look at what is happening, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but CPAC and anybody involved with CPAC this time around is in trouble. First of all, Sarah Palin. It's my understanding that Sarah Palin did not commit to CPAC. Didn't commit to CPAC, so she didn't pull out. She's being destroyed by it. Nobody else. CPAC is not getting. I guess a lead person to speak. Why? What is happening? Now, I know they have some problems, but there seems to be an isolation zone around this that doesn't make any sense. You have Sarah Palin being isolated by the right and the left. You have Michelle Bachmann isolated from the right and the left. You have me isolated from the right and the left. You have Jim DeMint isolated right and left. There is a cleaning of the deck, I think, and making sure that anyone that can challenge my time of being useful is over. When I was challenging the Republicans and the Democrats, but I was really going after Obama, I was useful. But seeing that I challenge both the Republicans and the Democrats, now that it matters, and I'm a wild card, and so is Michelle Bachmann, and so is Sarah Palin, so is the
Jim
people
DeMint.
that go to Jim DeMint, the people that go to CPAC, the people, anybody who has any influence, and the Tea Party now being discredited slyly by the right.
Oh, and compared to the Muslim Brotherhood, who are not a mortal enemy, it's
It's the Tea Party.
It's the Tea Party. It's Newt Gingrich.
You are seeing what I warned about happening, and I just want you to know that people are going to be discredited, people are going to be ostracized, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And know that it is, a lot of it is from the right who want their power just as much as the left does. Isn't that right, Bill Kristol? Wouldn't you think that would be a good...
Yeah, but how can you blame them to ostracize you when you say such crazy things about caliphates and Islamic extremists taking over
They
Egypt?
don't exist. Things like that do not
That doesn't even
happen.
exist. Like,
You
for
can't,
example,
you can't point to it in history.
If you had Dianne Feinstein out there, and maybe if she were to say that Egypt was in danger of being taken over by Islamic extremists, then maybe
You might
you'd
buy
have
into something like that?
Maybe you'd have something. But
But you
now,
don't
say
have
one more
that.
Wait a minute. Here's Dianne Feinstein.
Let me say one more thing, and that
Please
is
do.
concern that we have over fundamentalist Islamic sects taking over.
Taking
and
over. Oh,
I
boy.
think it's very
my.
real that we do not
Real?
understand the
Whoa.
ebb and flow of the currents in the Middle East.
We don't understand.
I remember in 2006 when it was being discussed whether Hamas should be permitted to run in Gaza. And the decision was made to let them run.
Right.
And even the Palestinian leadership believed, well, maybe they'd get 20% of the vote. They
they
didn't.
didn't.
They
What
won.
happened
We
there?
were wrong then.
Oh, that's
they
right.
won
Hamas,
the parliament overwhelmingly.
That's interesting.
So I think
That's
perhaps
Dianne
we don't
Feinstein.
understand this. And one thing that needs to be looked at is that border with the tunnels
Border patrol.
between Gaza and Egypt.
okay.
So sounds like some dangerous things are going
Well,
on, and we don't understand.
yeah,
and
but-
it's unpredictable. And sometimes when we think something, moderate is going to happen, something extremist does instead.
Occasionally, but
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Bill Kristol says that this is crazy
I understand that, but if you had, yes, you have Dianne Feinstein, but if you had, let's say, a two-time Secretary of Defense warning
like
specifically about a caliphate.
like a Donald Rumsfeld.
Perhaps.
Gosh, where would you find anything
You don't
like
have that.
No.
I mean, you'd have to go clear back, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because how old were you yesterday?
I don't even remember yesterday.
That is ridiculous. None of us even remember yesterday.
We are up against a vicious enemy. The radical Islamists are there. They intend to try to create a caliphate in this world and fundamentally alter the nature of nation states. And we're reluctant to engage in the competition of ideas.
What?
And point out
weird.
what they really are and how vicious they are.
Oh, but
Yeah,
not only is
okay.
that yesterday, but it was only the two-time Secretary of Defense.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. If you had
What does
a
he know?
former commander of CENTCOM, like John Abizaid, saying,
Yeah.
quote, they will try to reestablish a caliphate throughout the entire Muslim world, just as we had an opportunity to learn what the Nazis were going to do from Hitler's word in Mein Kampf, we need to learn what these people intend to do from their own words. If you had something like that, then maybe you had something. But maybe if the idea of caliphate was presented to people like John Abizaid and the administration at the time from a letter from Ayman al-Zawahiri, the number 2 in Al-Qaeda, where he called for an establishment of a militant Islamic caliphate, including Egypt, then maybe, specifically calling for Egypt, maybe you'd have something. And maybe, just maybe, if you went to Bill Kristol's own website and looked at the transcript of that letter...
You can't expect Bill Kristol to do that, though.
No, not at all.
You know.
By the way, on the Stu blog right now, all of this is up there on glennbeck.com, and you can read the letter from Ayman al-Zawahiri on the Weekly Standard's website that they posted that Bill Kristol runs, which says, it has always been my belief the victory of Islam will never take place until a Muslim state is established, blah, 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 specifically in Levant and Egypt. However, it says in the neighboring states of the peninsula in Iraq. However, the center would be in the Levant and Egypt. I don't know where you get these crazy ideas from, quoting letters.
No, wait a minute. Hang on just a second. What's crazy is I said that it could spread throughout the Middle East and into Europe.
That's
and that
nuts.
doesn't
all of that.
That doesn't. I mean, if you had like a communist in like
Where?
Australia,
Australia?
that was
Australia,
that
you
was
couldn't
saying the
doubt.
same things that they're saying
There's
here in
no
America.
way you could
Never.
find that.
Egypt has the potential to change the world.
Wait, is that an Australian accent?
What is
A progressive change in Egypt.
what is he saying?
To provide the spark for change in Palestine.
He's saying that, I mean, just something stupid like, you know, that Egypt is providing the spark to end capitalism worldwide. That's all he's saying.
Okay,
And that it's not really an
Look,
Islamic,
look,
it's not
look,
an Islamic revolution.
Look, both of you guys.
It's
Are you
socialist.
Bill Kristol?
I'm not Bill Kristol.
Are you Time Magazine?
I'm not.
Okay.
I am not.
Okay.
Then
No.
what you say makes no difference whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
They have an ivory tower.
Oh.
You do not. Okay? All
right.
And they're going to do everything they can to hold on to that ivory tower. And you, Bill, and everybody else, you keep your little office in that ivory tower, and you keep those doors locked, and you don't answer that phone or watch TV or do any research. Don't you do it. Don't
Even
you
on your
do
own
it.
website.
No,
No,
don't you
go there.
do it.
You can't trust
And
that
you'll
source.
hold on to your little office in that ivory tower. Unfortunately, everybody will be someplace else. But you'll still be in your ivory tower. Just like Galileo was for a while. Of course, that wasn't his choice. Well, it probably won't be your choice either if you give it enough time.